ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of the topics under Introduction to Vedanta as taught by Swami Paramarthananda. We are presently exploring the topic of Upasana Yoga. Upasana Yoga is looked at by Swamiji as a personality conditioning program, as we have been looking at. Swamiji divides our personalities into three aspects: the Kayikam Amsha, or the physical aspect, the Vachikam Amsha, or the verbal aspect, and the Manasam Amsha, or the mental aspect. We did look at the Kayikam Amsha and saw how our scriptures lay a lot of emphasis on physical health, physical well being, the strength of our limbs. We looked at a couple of Shanti Pathas that occur in our great Upanishads that talk about the physical well being. Then we also looked at the Vachikam Amsha, in which Swamiji spoke quite elaborately on Vak Tapas, based on the teaching of Lord Krishna in the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Swamiji talked to us about the four filters that we must very meticulously apply to all our verbal communication. Our personalities must get refined by applying these four filters while we communicate. Swamiji explained to us very beautifully about Anudvegakaram Vakyam, Satyam, Priyam, and Hitam. Anudvegakaram meaning non-hurtful speech. Satyam means truthfulness, avoiding dishonesty in all aspects of our personality, living an honest life, mainly speaking the truth, avoiding untruth. Priyam, speaking pleasantly, something that will be pleasant for the listener, and Hitam, something that will be useful, benefit the listener. All this must be guided by one single important principle, which states, do unto others what you would like others to do unto you. So, this is as far as the Kayikam and the Vachikam Amshas are concerned, the physical and the verbal aspects of our personality. We are left with the Manasam Amsha, or the mental personality, which we will enter into now. As we have been seeing, the third layer that Swamiji would like to handle is our Manasam Amsha, our mental personality. He likes to look at it as a mental conditioning program. A mental conditioning program. All forms of meditation come under this mental conditioning program. They are not only the, of course, they are not the only methods of mental conditioning, though. There are other methods too. Meditation is a method of mental programming or conditioning. It's an effective method. Primarily, primarily, the word upasana means meditation or meditation for mental conditioning. Meditation for mental conditioning. Since the mind cannot be handled without taking care of the body and speech, we include body conditioning and speech conditioning as a stepping stone for mental conditioning. How beautifully um, uh, evolved and looked at in a very step by step manner. We cannot directly condition the mind, therefore, we approach it indirectly by conditioning first the physical aspect of our personality, then the verbal aspect, because as we can easily understand, each is interconnected, isn't it? So, the mind being a subtle instrument, it is not easy to control the mind directly. Therefore, we begin with physical and verbal disciplines and then come to disciplining the mind. Very logical approach. Any meditation program will include both physical and verbal disciplines. This is evident in Patanjali Maharishi's Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 steps delineated by Patanjali Maharshi. Even though the aim is mental conditioning, he emphasizes physical and verbal disciplines too. The 6th chapter of the Gita is titled Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana Yoga, primarily meant to practice meditation. We find Lord Krishna talks about ahara niyama, food discipline. One may ask, what has food discipline got to do with meditation? It becomes clear that mental conditioning does require physical conditioning since the body and mind are connected. And so are our speech and our mind. We do notice that our emotions influence our verbal communication. Anger comes out, causes us to shout, comes out in the form of shouting, increasing our decibel levels. We may even resort to physical violence when angry. The speed of verbal communication is also influenced. We can influence reducing our anger, though difficult, by stopping our physical responses, reducing our decibel levels, or slowing down our communication. By stopping our physical responses, reducing our decibel levels, or slowing down our communication. This clearly indicates how our physical and verbal personalities influence our mental personality. It works both ways. That is, the any disturbance in the mind becomes manifest in our verbal or physical personalities and vice versa. This establishes the connection between our physical, mental, and verbal personalities. Physical, verbal, and mental personalities. All psychosomatic diseases reveal a connection between our minds and bodies, isn't it? It's all around us. Therefore, we attempt to handle our mental personality through our physical and verbal personalities. Upasana primarily means mental discipline and secondarily physical and verbal discipline. For the sake of our convenience, we classify all forms of meditation, Swamiji says, into four types based on the type of discipline we want to inculcate in the mind and the aspect of the mind that we want to or wish to handle. Let me repeat that sentence because it is very significant. For the sake of our convenience, we classify all forms of meditation into four types based on the type of discipline we want to inculcate in the mind and the aspect of the mind that we wish to or want to handle. What are those four forms of meditation then? We will explore them in the next capsule. Hari Om.